Welcome to another episode of Running Greenleaf. Today we're talking about 1031s and what those look like over multiple generations. We recently had some big wins on the apartment side that we sold, so we're going to go through how those deals worked, how we use the 1031, and what the investment life cycle really is.
Yeah, so a 1031 is a tool that the IRS designates to basically roll over your gains. So tax-deferred, it's called a tax-deferred exchange. So there's two types of taxes that happen when you sell a piece of real estate. One is depreciation recapture, which is ordinary income. When we buy a real estate deal, we accelerate depreciation, and we get to realize passive losses on the front end. And then when we go to sell that deal in the future, we have to recapture those write-offs that we did. So we 1031, we don't realize those right away. We get to defer those. The secondary part of the exchange is the capital gains part of the taxes, where we basically roll the gain forward, and we basically kick the can down the road for paying taxes in the future.
Yeah, we're deferring out what we owe, hopefully as long as possible.
Yes.
And some of these have been going on for quite a while. We recently just sold 3 pretty big apartment deals in 2023 that were big wins. We sold 2 deals that are up in Charlotte. We had Rosecroft and Silverstone. If you've participated in those deals, we owned them for 4 to 6 years each. And then we have West Side Crossing, which is a deal here in Atlanta that we sold. We owned that one for 7 years. And we used 1031 exchanges in all of these deals. To really kind of go through what that investing life cycle looks like, we got to go all the way back to the beginning. It really takes us to like 2013. So
10 years ago.
10 years ago, right?
Our firstborns were born.
Yeah, we had our first
Literally in
kids
2013, yeah.
But 2013, we bought apartment deals they were heavy value add apartment deals. I mean, this was back in the day when the investment strategy was to add new roofs, go in and put in functional windows, add mechanicals, the gas meters, another one.
Yeah, and when we bought Embry, there were no gas meters. They were all stolen off the building, so we had to figure out how to get all the residents heat. You would not think that would be part of our value add strategy, but it very much was to get rents on this property.
It was a heavy value add physical improvement project. So we did 2 deals, Embry here in Atlanta and Proctor Square, also here in Atlanta. And we owned those deals for about 3 to 4 years each. And in that investment cycle there, it was all physical improvements. And a $25,000 investment became worth about $100,000 in that investment cycle. And then we used a 1031 exchange to go purchase the Silverstone and Rosecroft properties. So very similar type assets, all apartment buildings, all residential. It was very similar, but it was a operational value add opportunity.
Right. And the difference between the physical and the operational is that both Silverstone and Rosecroft were fully occupied. They were operating fairly well. And we saw the opportunity that the owners were in there for a while. Rents were about 20-30% below market. Their maintenance was kind of tired, and they really weren't providing the service needed to get market rents. So we bought the properties, implemented our program that we really focused on retention and resident service, and we're able to drive revenues by, I believe, 35% by the time we exited. Yeah,
and it was kind of in a fast-moving market. So if you weren't really going with stuff, you could get a little bit behind on some of those numbers. So we did our 1031 exchanges into those, and we also bought West Side Crossing, which was the end of the physical value add space.
Yep.
Right. So 2017, we bought that, and we owned that one for 7 years. So we just exited that deal here at the end of 2023. So fast forward to now in 2023, and we have sold all 3 of these apartment deals. We look at our returns on those, and they were between a 3 and a 4.5 equity multiple. So we had big gains, and we were looking to do the same thing, and we did another 1031 exchange, each of these deals individually, and then we rolled them into new assets. So the Silverstone deal we sold, we had a first-generation 1031. We rolled it into the Silverstone deal, then we exited that, and we rolled that into one of our physical improvement opportunities, which is our office renovations. We're doing a lot of flex and office conversions to flex. And in that case, we think we can do the same thing again. We took our gains, rolled it into this asset, which is Lakeside over in Tucker, and we plan to complete the physical value add there, lease that space, and then do the same thing. But it's going to be a 3-year, 4-year process on that deal.
Right. And really the same kind of strategy with the
Well, with Rosecroft, we rolled that
Right,
into
into
Vortex.
Vortex.
So that's a different one where we've rolled that into an operator partnership where we're trying to generate stable cash flow. So in that scenario, a $25,000 investment becomes worth 100 on the first generation 1031 exchange, goes up to 450 with the second generation with another successful apartment exit, and now that deal's turning over, more than in passive cash flow each year than the original investment. So if you invested
Pretty
25
good
in
one.
that one, you're getting over 30,000 a year in distributions out of the current format on that, and that's long-term investment strategy. It's not a flip. These were buys and sells, but they were not flips. They were not short-term. These are very much long-term investment strategies. It's been 10 years of that. And the last one, West Side Crossing, after 7 years, we sold that one. We had a 20% IRR, 21% IRR over a 7-year period. And we've now rolled that into another physical value add opportunity, which is our Forum deal right here in Peachtree, and that Peachtree Corners. And that's another office conversion to flex.
Right. And this office conversion to flex is really taking a single-story office building that was designed and built out as office and really not performing in this market. So Forum Flex was 40% occupied, and really demoing out the office, turning the back into warehouse space into storage, putting a roll-up door on there, and operating as a flex industrial property.
And we're doing all of these as a 1031 exchange. They're each individual. So the deal cycle, when you're doing the 1031 exchange, you have a limited time that you can go find a new investment to do it. And each time we are looking to make those investments, we are working to say, does this match the investment objectives that we're looking for here, and what is our time horizon? So overall, as we look to this is like our second and third generations of these things. We've got another 3 to 4 year period. This investing life cycle is going to extend, you're talking like 10 to 13 years of going through an investment process and trying to identify segments of the market where you can capture and create value. So that's what we're working on our 1031s. We really like this strategy. We like the longer term hold scenarios that we can work with. So we're excited about talking about them, and love if you have any questions. We are working on them all the time, trying to find opportunities where we can deploy these strategies. So thanks, everyone.
For more tips on operating and investing in real estate, please check us out at greenleafmanagement.com or find us on YouTube and Spotify.